Hello there, a good Friday evening to you, and many thanks for joining us on Rwanda Television News tonight. We hope you had yourselves a great day and you are ending your working week in style. And now, welcome to Edition. These are the headlines. On Friday in Washington, D.C., the 11th edition of Rwanda Day kicks off at the Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center, opened by a business forum. Development partners applaud Rwanda's decision to abolish the death penalty, which has contributed to an efficient justice system. Good evening to you once again, and thanks for keeping us company. As we kick it off, on Friday in Washington, D.C., the 11th edition of Rwanda Day kicks off at the Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center, opened by a business forum, attended by 400 to 500 people. Themed Rwanda, a legacy of inclusiveness within and beyond our borders. Rwanda Day 2024 discusses the country's socio-economic transformation in the last 30 years, with a specific focus on the contribution of the Rwandan community living abroad to the nation's development gains. Through the Rwanda Day, participants will have the opportunity to engage with President Paul Kagame, discuss topics of national significance, and exchange on how to further drive Rwanda's development. Since its inception in 2010, Rwanda Day has brought together close to 40,000 Rwandans and friends of Rwanda living in various parts of the world. Rwanda Day has been held in Chicago, Paris, Boston, London, Toronto, Atlanta, Dallas, Amsterdam, San Francisco, Ghent, Bonn, and now Washington, D.C. And moving ahead, development partners applaud Rwanda's decision to abolish the death penalty, which has contributed to an efficient justice system and enhanced unity and reconciliation following the tragedy of the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi. We do have the details with Prince Manzi.
It has been 17 years since the abolishment of the death penalty in Rwanda, as on 25th July 2007, there was released a gazette abolishing this penalty. Analysts demonstrate that this decision was taken in difficult times but meant a lot. It was a great step that was made. The international community started to believe in Rwanda's justice system, but with the consequences of the genocide, it was hard to raise awareness as to why it is to be abolished. In actual fact, it is not a punishment. One is to understand the bad of the crime he committed while jailed. We could see also some people still think that the death penalty can be applied in some cases, but it is not true. 1,148 statements of conviction to genocide against the Tutsi perpetrators were sent by the prosecution to 33 countries globally. In end 2022, 12 countries had already sent 30 people in Rwanda to be tried and 25 to be tried in 9 other countries. Law expert Alois Mutabingwa demonstrates that the abolishment of the death penalty made the Rwanda's justice system more accountable. Rwanda uses a correctional system, and one cannot be corrected, yet not in life. Some think that it was done for meeting the international laws. Standard? Yes, but again, this cannot determine our decision. Rather, the country found it to be efficient in the long run. In 2022, 2,016 people were sentenced with the death penalty from 2,052 in 2021. The EU ambassador to Rwanda, Belen Kavo Uyara, demonstrates that Rwanda sets a good example for countries that have not yet made this decision.
We certainly welcome that Rwanda abolished death penalty and has been a reference in the abolition of death penalty. This is one of the key human rights issues that the EU promotes. and we've been working with partners across the continent on this matter, and it's great to have in Rwanda a partner that supports the abolition of death penalty, and we count on Rwanda to engaging other African partners and showcasing the outcome of the impact of these policies. So that's a very important element.
Statistics demonstrate that 83% of the convicted of the genocide were pardoned and 85% of the survivors forgave willingly, hence the unity of Rwandans rising to 94.7%. Whilst at the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington, D.C., President Kagame reiterated that after liberating the country, it was necessary to build unity and reconciliation despite seemingly impossible. The head of state noted that abolishing the death penalty was one of the measures to enhance unity among Rwandans.
Break the cycle of violence and convert the urge for vengeance into a national program of unity and reconciliation. But reconciliation itself comes with a cost, which is why it is often so difficult to achieve. Hundreds of thousands of people deserved to go to jail for life or even hanged by any measure of justice. But we had to find a way to repair those people and make them part of society again. We abolished the death penalty. We therefore had to ask the survivors of genocide for the impossible in order to restore our nation, to swallow their anger and bitterness, to live together again with those who they had watched murder their loved ones as their own children flourished. I could not ask anything of the perpetrators. Only the survivors had something left to give: their forgiveness.
The Amnesty International report demonstrates that in the end of 2022, 28,282 people were sentenced to the death penalty. Prince Manzi, OTV News.
Thank you, Prince Manzi, for the report. Retired Colonel Donat Ndamaje has presented letters of credence on Friday to the President of Mozambique, His Excellency Philip Nyusi, as the ambassador of Rwanda in that country. Rwanda and Mozambique cooperate in ways that include military cooperation in the southern African country's province of Cabo Delgado, where the armed forces fight against Islamic State-linked terrorists. The two countries' heads of state have met in various times to discuss ways to expand the existing relations. The most recent was the Mozambican president's visit to Kigali, Rwanda, where he held talks with his Rwandan counterpart, His Excellency President Paul Kagame, on 25th January 2024. In 2021, Rwanda deployed troops in the region located off the coast of the Indian Ocean at the request of President Nyusi's government. Joint operations by Rwandan security forces and the Mozambican security forces have uprooted the insurgents from the most of the territory they controlled before the Rwandan deployment. More than 250,000 residents of Cabo Delgado who were displaced by the insurgency have returned to their homes. Economic activities have resumed in the coastal districts such as Palma, Musimbo de Praia and Ancube, which had been polarized by the terrorist attacks since 2017. Mozambique is home to many Rwandan nationals, mainly business professionals and students undertaking their master's degree in hydrocarbon and petroleum engineering. Moving ahead, customers of hotels and restaurants in the city of Kigali and beyond advocate for a stance where customers should reject poor service, believing it can spur enhancements in the quality of service delivered. This sector significantly contributed to almost 50% of the national gross domestic product. We do have the details. Hotels and restaurants continue to increase in number, which goes hand in hand with the rise in numbers of consumers. However, they express concern that the service provision in this field is somehow questionable. Most of the times, there are delays in providing service. Places like these should give out quick and efficient service to clients. If the waiter serves you poorly, you should complain to the manager. If the manager can't help, appeal to the top hotel management. And if it all fails, don't go back to the same place. On the other hand, service providers affirm that they are always thinking of new ways and strategies regarding the betterment of hospitality services offered. We are always striving to comply with RDB regulations. We had a meeting and talked about all the hindrances to better service provision, including the way waiters work. In addition, the speech of the president awoken us, and we are going to add efforts in quality service delivery. Statistics provided by the Rwanda Governance Board indicated that the service sector currently stands at 78%, yet the goal is to reach 85%, and business owners should take the lead in correcting where they fall short of delivering better services. Sometimes business owners ask employees to provide quality service when they don't even understand what that means. Owners need to know that we are the face of the country when it comes to hospitality. Therefore, more trainings are needed to make sure that we understand what we do and how to do it better. The President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, during this year's National Dialogue Council, Umushyikirano, urged individuals in the hospitality sector to work towards the betterment of service delivery.
Turanashaka ko tuba igihugu kizana amahanga kaza hano kuko niho hava.
We want to be a country that attracts foreigners because that is what boosts our economy in areas where we are behind. But how will that be possible? Yet people know that you are incompetent. People will seek those services from somewhere else. We should change that urgently, because it takes nothing. It doesn't require foreign aid, donation or grants. It's in you. If you can't find it within you, you will lose a lot. And when you have lost it, it will be very difficult to regain it. The service sector accounts for 50% of Rwanda's GDP, and the enhancement of service provision has the potential to boost the contribution, given the income generated from conferences held in Rwanda hit a record high of $91 million in the year 2023. On Friday, the iLead program Rwanda hosted a convention to celebrate the achievements of the program in schools since its inception in the year 2022. Students appreciate the program, which has formed their mindset on making decisions that had a greater impact in their lives and values that shape them to becoming better leaders of tomorrow. We do have the details with Christelle Uwase.
It has been 2 years since iLead program started in Rwanda and has so far reached 76,246 students from 194 secondary schools across the country. Students are happy that the program has had a great impact in shaping their future.
I have spent a year in this program. Out of all the values, the one that is most to my heart was initiative. So it helped open my eyes to see that just pushing off something doesn't make it go away, and just knowing what needs to be done isn't enough, and it requires you to just take the action to do it. And how it's shaping my life, it's just helping me to stop procrastinating every moment. So if I get a moment to do my things, I just do them right now without just pushing off something later.
Fred Isaac Katagwa, the Executive Director of African New Life Ministries, asserts that there has been a big change in the lives and behaviors of the youth under this program, and that the vision is to raise the next generation of Rwandan leaders.
I lead exists to raise the next generation of leaders of quality, leaders who are excellent, leaders of value, leaders whose mindset is changed and transformed in order to transform those around them. The vision of I Lead is raising the next generation of leaders. You know how leaders are needed. You know how everything rises and falls on leadership.
Dr. Nelson Barushimana, the Director General of Rwanda Education Board, also hailed the role of the program in nurturing the next values-based leaders Rwanda needs.
It is a good opportunity for us to have iLead on board, where iLead, they connect values and leadership. And at the same time, they connect actions and leadership. And then at the end, they connect influence and leadership. We need just to have a profile of a student graduating from our educational system, having those values needed for the market. And then at the end, the beneficiaries of these programs, they are students, they will be able just to lead themselves. After leading themselves, immediately they will be able just to lead others.
Rwanda was the first country in Africa to pioneer the iLead program. The program has been implemented in other countries across the world, including Costa Rica, Paraguay, and Guatemala. Christelle Uwase, RTV News.
And that's all from us here at RB's Rwanda Television News. On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, many thanks for being with us on today's edition. And as we let you off for the weekend, we wish you a great and fun-filled weekend ahead. Goodbye.